There is a lot of talk about self-love and self-care on the internet. Usually, it's looked at in a cosmetic kind of way. It's almost always a specific moment once every few weeks where you take some time for yourself. But to me, self love is something I do every single day. Inspired by these videos, I wanted to show you the ways I show myself love in an average week. This is all the ways I showed myself love this week. Hello, good morning. It is Tuesday today, and I am doing my first act of self-care right away when I woke up because this afternoon I have a shift at my new job. I talked a little bit more in depth about this in this video, so you can check that out if you want to know a little bit more. But a short summary is that I quit most of my teaching job. I still teach 1 day a week, but I quit all of the other days. I was just very unhappy at my old job. So I quit. And I've been looking for a new job and I found one a couple of weeks ago, but it took a little while before I could start. And I actually had my first day last week. Today will be my third shift and so far it is really fun. I'm having a really good time when I'm there. However, it does take me a lot of energy because it's like all new people, all new things that I'm learning. I have to get used to all of the ways that things are going there. My first 2 shifts were morning shifts, and whenever I came home, I just immediately fell asleep because I was so overwhelmed and tired, which is okay. I know that will be less and less the longer I work there because I will get used to it. But because I know that that is still happening right now, I wanted to give myself a quiet, slow morning before I have my first afternoon shift today. My shift starts at 2 and in theory I could do a lot of work before then, but I kind of want to force myself not to do that and have a chill, slow morning. Make sure that I go to work rested and well fed and well cared for so that I can put all of my energy into work instead of doing a bunch of things beforehand. So it's 9 right now, and if it was a usual work from home day, this is the moment where I would get up and start work. However, I've made a coffee. I am putting on a show that I'm currently watching called I Kissed a Girl. It's a Dutch queer dating show. It's so fun, and I'm just gonna chill. I'm forcing it feels like I shouldn't do this because it feels unproductive, but I know that it will make me feel better, and that's what's important right now. So I'm gonna chill. My sister is adopting a puppy tomorrow, and I've been making the puppy a little plushie, and it's my first ever plushie that I've crocheted. She's a little bit imperfect, but I made a cute little... The eyes, I feel certain ways about the eyes. I don't know how to make it better, but I feel like from this angle, she's really cute. Also, the puppy is probably half the size of this plushie, so she's gonna be able to use it as a pillow or fully lay on it. But look! She's so cute. Maybe I should remove the eyes. I don't know. But from the side, I like this. So cute. Okay, I removed the eyes. Now she's less creepy. I think this is better. I'm gonna meet the puppy later this week and I will show you when I give this to her. I'm so excited. It's a little while later. I have dressed and showered and I'm now in the kitchen with my very needy cat. Because I am about to do something that is self-care to me in 2 different ways. First of all, I love to bake. I've been baking a lot of bread, but I've also been baking different recipes specifically with my sourdough discard. And I made cookies recently, I made cinnamon rolls, and yesterday I made another batch of cookie dough. And not only is this something that I really enjoy doing, it's also, in this case, something I can share with others because I've specifically made this cookie dough to bring to my workday tomorrow where I see Leora and Leonie. I brought them these cookies last time, but I'd only brought 3 just to eat during the day, and they were obsessed with them and they still talk about them. So I figured I'd make a big batch and give them a bunch of cookies so they can eat that during the week. To me, being able to share what I make and have other people enjoy it is one of the best things about baking. And it's also feels just like I'm gifting them a little bit of self-care because I just know later this week, they're gonna make a coffee or a matcha and they're gonna sit down with one of these cookies and they're gonna really enjoy it. And I'm really happy that I can give that to them. Like I said, I've already made the dough. I just have to add the chocolate chips because these are supposed to be chocolate chip cookies. However, my boyfriend cannot eat chocolate. I'm gonna bake a few first without chocolate so he can have those. And then I'm adding the chocolate and baking the rest of them. And while these are in the oven, I'm gonna make a quick lunch. But yeah, I just wanted to share that in this case, self-care is something that I enjoy, but it's also being able to share this with the people that I love. Now. I got back from work, I had dinner, I spent the evening just on the couch, crocheting, watching a show. And one thing I wanted to mention in terms of self-care is being strict to myself about social media usage and being on my phone. And this is something that I've talked about a lot, and it's something that a lot of people are talking about. We all know that being on social media, being on our phones is not doing us any good. It's not really improving our lives in any way. I've been trying for a while to find a way to limit my social media usage without completely cutting it out, because I do like to be on there sometimes. I just want to have boundaries with myself. And for the past couple of weeks, I have found a way that really helps me. And one of those things is that I don't have my phone in the bedroom anymore. This was a big step for me because I used to be very anxious about people having to reach me. And now I have started to leave my phone in the living room. Technically, the door of my bedroom is open. So if someone were to call me, I think I could hear it, but I'm not sure. But it makes it so much harder for me to be on my devices when I'm waking up and when I'm falling asleep. And I think that has improved my sleep and my overall mental health so much. We bought a regular alarm clock. It's one of those sunlight alarm clocks. So half an hour before the alarm goes, the room slowly starts getting lighter, which is really nice. So we wake up in a light room and I don't have my phone near me. So I either have to go out of bed and grab my phone, or I can stay in bed and chill there for a little bit and not be on my phone. And because of this, it's not the first thing I automatically grab anymore, which is a really funny thing because now that it's not the first thing anymore, it's very often not even the second or third thing I grab. I have literally had a day where I left my house and I walked to the train station and I was standing in front of a red light and I wanted to look up what time my train went, and I realized my phone was still in my living room on the charger because I just had not touched it that day yet. That doesn't mean I'm never on social media in the mornings anymore, but it's not the first thing I do. And usually I get out of bed, I go to the bathroom, I do like my morning things, I make a coffee, and then I grab my phone and sit down with it, or I leave it on the charger and I don't grab it for whatever amount of time. But it's a lot more of a specific choice to grab it instead of just automatically having it as the first thing I see in the morning and having it like be my alarm. And the second I open my eyes, I'm grabbing my phone to turn off my alarm, and then it's so easy to like continue on my phone. I'll talk about social media usage and the way I'm handling that right now a little bit more in a different part of this video, because this is not the only thing I'm doing, but since I'm about to go to bed, this was on my mind. So I'm about to put my phone on the charger and then start getting ready, brush my teeth, do all the things, and then go to sleep. And I will see you tomorrow for more self-care. Hello, good evening. It is Wednesday night. It is 10:30 and I have had a crazy busy day. I did not have any time for self-care or self-love or anything. I worked all day, then I had immediate social plans. Then I came home and I had some more work to finish, and I just finished doing the work. So I have literally not chilled for like more than 5 minutes, which does not happen that often. I honestly have a pretty chill life, especially because part of my work is to be a freelancer, so usually that is pretty chill. But in this case, I had some freelance work that just really
needed to be done and I needed to do it. So there we were. There's always this internal struggle with me where I know I'm gonna have to get up early tomorrow. So I want to get a good night's sleep. But I also know that if I now, after just having turned off my laptop, immediately go to sleep and go to bed, I'm not gonna have a restful sleep. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a nice shower. I'm gonna take a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes to kind of wind down. I've put away my phone. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna do some skincare and then I'm gonna get into bed and actually relax. Because I could do like a 3-minute night routine where I just brush my teeth, put on some face cream and go to bed. But that's not gonna be enough today, even though that means that I'm getting a little bit less sleep, but it's good, I think, in this case. That is my little act of self-care of the day. I also did give my cookies to Leora and Leonie, and they seemed very happy with them. And they both shared with me. I gave them both 8 cookies because I made a bunch of cookies and I was like, I can give them to them, and they both shared with me that they were gonna share them with other people, that they had like plans of people coming over and they were gonna give the cookies or serve the cookies to them, which I think makes it even better. So you can make so many people happy with this one small act. Another thing that I've started to do a couple of years ago, I think, that really improves moments like these is that I usually have 2 different body washes with different scents, and one is like my night scent and one is my morning scent. I don't have one specific moment that I like to shower. It kind of depends on when I wake up, when I go to bed. Sometimes I shower in the middle of the day, it doesn't really matter. However, when I do a shower like this where I know I'm gonna go straight to bed, I'm using a lavender or like sleepy time related scent, and my body is used to it by now. So whenever I will smell this, I know that I'm gonna get sleepy and I'm gonna be all warm and cozy and get into bed and then fall into a nice sleep. Tomorrow is another very busy day, but that's the point of this vlog, to look for these small moments even in the days where you're very busy. I will see you tomorrow and share with you what small acts of kindness I can do for myself then.
Hello, it is Friday right now. It is the end of the workday, and I had a really nice day. I did a lot of things. I felt very productive, but it was also just very fun. Me and my boyfriend were both working from home. That's always really nice. And tonight, I want to really take some time to take care of myself, because I do try to make time for that during the week, but as you've seen, sometimes I have very busy days and I just don't get to do it as much as I want to. So I try to choose one night each week where I just do something for me and I really take time to like wind down, be with myself. And my boyfriend is out with friends tonight. It doesn't really matter whether he's here or not. Like, we can do this together. I can do it by myself. Whenever he has plans with friends and I'm by myself, that is like the perfect opportunity, because I can choose to sit on the couch and watch a show all night and feel shitty at the end of the night, or I can choose to spend that time really deliberately and choose to feel better. So it is almost 6 right now and I am going to go on a run. I've talked before about how I signed up for a 10K and I've been training for that, and that 10K is this Sunday. So I'm really nervous, and I did my first 10K run 2 weeks ago. It went really well. I didn't want to do a short run today, just to kind of prepare. I don't know. There's so much noise outside. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm really annoyed by it, so I'm sorry if you can hear it. So I don't want to go on a very long run, so I think I'm gonna do one of like 30 minutes-ish. see how far I can get in that time. And then when I get back, I kind of want to go and get a cocktail somewhere or maybe a glass of wine and sit outside in the sun because the weather is really nice. But it's also almost dinner time, so it kind of depends on how hungry I am. I don't really have plans of eating somewhere, but maybe I can come back from my run, take a quick shower, go get one drink somewhere in the sun, and then come back and have dinner and just eat it a little bit later. But we'll see what the evening brings. There's a new episode of the show I'm watching tonight, so that's really exciting. I have a really good book that I'm reading, so it's just gonna be a bunch of relaxing and intentional time spending. No social media or very little social media, and just doing the things that I like. Okay, I am back from my run. It wasn't my best run, but it wasn't my worst either. I'm a bit nervous. I hope that, mainly what I hope is that I don't get cut off for time. And every single person is telling me that this run will be the fastest I've ever run because the race is like the adrenaline and the music and the people, it will all help. And I'm sure that it will, but I'm just worried that I might, have to walk so often that I'm not making it in time to still be included in the race. But in the race that I'm running, you can still finish after the cutoff time. You just don't get a medal, which would suck, but is still fine. Like, I just wanna do it, and I know I can do it. I've done it before, like 2 weeks ago, so it's not crazy. And what is crazy is that if you would have asked me 3 months ago if I was able to run 10K, I would have laughed in your face. So the fact that I'm here right now is already such an achievement, and I have to remember that my body is doing things that it couldn't do just a few months ago. And I'm also just really proud that I had the discipline. Like, I fully just randomly signed up for this race and have been training for it every single week because I told myself that I would do this. And I think of myself as a kind of a flaky person sometimes. I feel like I set goals that I just don't really do anything with. But this is proof that that's not true. Like, if I have a goal, I actually work towards it because I have been working towards it for months. And here I am. So enough about running. Usually this would already be the time that I would have had dinner. It's like 7:30 right now. I usually eat dinner around 6:30 or 7. But because I had a protein bar right before my run, I'm not hungry at all. It's still light and sunny outside, so I'm gonna go to a terrace and have a cocktail. I'm gonna bring my book. I'm gonna sit there and relax and have fun, and then I'm gonna come back and make dinner. I'm by myself anyway, so I don't have to think about anyone but me, and since I'm not hungry, I don't have to eat yet. So let's go.
The summer came for us and showed us what we lost. I'm riding to myself.
Hello, I'm back. It is fully the evening now. It is 9:30, which was not my intention at all. Let me talk you through this because it was my fault. So my plan was to go to a cocktail bar that I know and love. It's a place that I go quite often when I want to go have a drink by myself because I always feel very safe, very not judged there, and I know that it's like a nice environment to be at. And also it's the perfect place to have one drink because they don't have any food on the menu, so I cannot linger. And the cocktails are not so expensive that I don't want to go there, but they're expensive enough that I don't want to order a second. You know what I mean? Like, one cocktail there is a little treat. 2 cocktails there is just like one step too far unless I'm with friends or I have something to celebrate. You know what I mean? So that was my plan. 1 cocktail and then I go back home. However, when I arrived there, it was completely full. And I was like, okay, now what? And I ended up going to a wine bar that I had never been to before. But one thing about me is that you cannot make me happier than being in a wine bar or on a wine bar terrace, drinking a wine that you know and like you can taste that it's more fancy and expensive than what you usually get when you're at home. I love wine. I love wine tastings. I love a little bit more of a fancy wine, but that's something that I don't buy bottles of. You know, I get the cheap €3 wine from the supermarket for whatever I drink at home, and then when I go to a wine bar, I can drink actually good wine. So I saw that there was a spot on the terrace there, and I knew that was meant to be. And I sat down and I ordered a glass of wine and I grabbed my book and I had a great time. And I had intentions of going home after I had finished that 1 glass of wine. However, the people next to me ordered food. One mistake is going to a bar that offers food, because if they offer food, I am gonna ordered the food. I'm just a girl. They ordered food. It looked so incredible. And I was like, I don't want to go home and cook something right now. So I treated myself. I ordered some food. I ordered another glass of wine. I read my book for about 2 hours. I had so much fun. I was eavesdropping on the people around me, listening to their conversations. Me, a terrace, a wine bar, some great food. That is a recipe for an incredible night. And I had an incredible night. So it was a little different than I expected, but it was incredible. I'm so happy that I stayed and that I had some food there. It wasn't like a full meal. It was like small bites. They were all so incredibly delicious. I'm really glad that I ate them, but I'm not completely full. So I went to the supermarket on my way back and got some more snacks so I can make myself a small little snack plate. I have some cheeses that I bought at the market last week with a little dip. Like I said earlier, there's a new episode of my show. I am loving life right now. Just nothing boosts my mood like a wine bar does. I know that makes me sound like I drink a lot. It's not that. It's just the environment, the kind of people that get there. Also, the staff that work there, they were all so incredibly nice and kind. And especially on a Friday night, it can be a little bit daunting to go to a bar by yourself because some bars are like student bars. You know, there's all these people, they're drinking so much, they're really loud, and that's not a bad thing if you're in a group yourself. But if you're by yourself wanting to read your book, that's just not the vibe, at least that I wanted tonight. But the vibe on this terrace was just so great. The vibe was just incredible. Anyway, I'm gonna make the little snack plate. I'm gonna put on my show and I'm gonna relax for the rest of the night. I'm probably gonna go to bed in like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Yes, I had such a great night. This is, once again, your sign to do things by yourself. I talk about this a lot when I talk about self-care. It is one of my favorite skills that I've taught myself. I used to be someone who did not feel comfortable doing things by myself, but I have really just forced myself into it, and now it is one of my favorite things to do. And being able to have a fun night by yourself, or have a fun night period, unrelated to if you have friends or a boyfriend or a family member who can spend it with you, is so important. And the vibes are just different, you know? Like, I could have gone here with a friend or my boyfriend and it would have also been really, really fun, but it would have been very different. And I think it's really important to sometimes, you know, have that you time. Anyway, that's it for now. I will talk to you later. Hello, good morning. It is Saturday morning today. It is the first actually like really warm day of the year. It is supposed to be 24 degrees today, which is crazy for April. So I'm wearing my fun little outfit and I'm about to have a really exciting day because I told you earlier this week that I was making this cute little turtle to give to my sister or like her dog, and I'm about to go over to her house and meet the puppy for the first time. We're going out for a cute little walk. We're going to a park, which should be really fun in this weather as well, and we can play with the puppy. We might go sit somewhere, have lunch or an iced coffee. I am so excited. So of course, I'm bringing you along with me and showing you all of the puppy footage. But before we go, I wanted to chat about how this to me relates to self-care. And I think it's very clear that, you know, you have to spend time with the people you love. That is like one of the things that will always make me feel better if I spend time with my friends, my family, my boyfriend. I think currently self-care culture is very centered around being by yourself and individualism. And don't get me wrong, like that is a good thing to a certain extent. I talked yesterday about how I think it's really important to spend time by yourself. However, I think one of the most important things in life in general is community and being around people that you care about. We live in a time where we spend a lot of time thinking about ourselves and how to make ourselves feel better. And that is very important. But I think we're missing a part of the community aspect that we used to have. Not just spending time with other people, but doing things for other people despite yourself, making other people a priority sometimes. Again, please don't take this as me saying that you should never take care of yourself and never put yourself first, because that's obviously not what I'm trying to say. But I think there's a balance there, and if I make a full video about self-care and ways I show myself love, I think community and caring for others is something that really has a place in that as well. So I'm really, really lucky that I have a family that I am really close to. We all live quite close to each other, like physically, but we see each other pretty much every single week, and they're a big part of my life. So for me, spending time with my family is something that is really, really important. I know I'm really lucky in that sense because there's a lot of people who don't get that with their family. It doesn't matter if it's family, if it's friends, if it's chosen family. I just think that it's good to think about the community and about others instead of just about yourself. So that being said, prepare for a lot of cute puppy footage. I'm gonna give the puppy her cute little new toy, and I'm gonna meet her and cuddle with her, and we're gonna go for a walk, and I'm so freaking excited.
About the things you said, the slowness creeps towards my feet within the light the morning brings to clean the remnants of a dream. Shadows you cannot see, I brush aside. You're on my mind is weak, the lows are deep. I fall into the refuge that is sleep. There's nothing in my view but images of you 1,000 times. The summer came for us and showed us what we lost. I'm writing to myself about the things you said, about the things you said.
It is the end of the day on Saturday, and I had a really lovely day. Me and my sister spent most of it just sitting in the sun in the park, playing with the puppy, enjoying the weather. And then I went home and I made some pasta. Since I'm running my first race tomorrow, I thought it would be good to eat pasta tonight. I feel like that's what you're supposed to do, even though obviously 10K is not that much. Like, I don't need to be carb loading, I don't need to be thinking about my food a week before the race, but I did try to drink a lot of water today and eat pasta with a lot of vegetables as dinner, just because I feel like that will help me tomorrow. I already said this at the beginning, but this video was mainly inspired by a video by Hannah Elise, and in her video she talks a lot about caring for your future self, not just your today self. And one of the ways that I did this today was by making this pasta, not just because I'm taking care of myself for tomorrow and preparing for this race, but also because I feel like, especially with pasta sauce, it is a lot easier to make a big batch. Like, I ate by myself today, and making pasta sauce for just me usually is relatively expensive because I want to buy fresh vegetables. But if I make a big batch, it's only a little bit more expensive, but I can freeze the rest and I will have a nice home-cooked meal for a day where I am a bit more in a rush or I don't feel like cooking. And this is something that I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful of lately. If I'm already gonna cook something that I can freeze and I know I will like in the future, then I will make just a little bit more to put in my freezer. So that's what I did today with the sauce, and I am really happy that I did, because now I get to eat it again sometime soon. And it didn't take any longer than it would have if I were to make it for just me. And again, I feel like it's not that much more expensive because it's generally cheaper to just buy a bigger bag of vegetables or a bigger jar of sauce compared to if I were to buy the smaller size twice. Anyway, that is that for today. I'm gonna go to sleep quite early because I want to be well rested tomorrow. I am starting my race at 10, but I can go to like the place that I need to go to at 9. So I want to wake up at around 7:30 to 8, so I have enough time to prepare, eat a little bit before, drink enough water, and then do my race. I've talked about this a little bit before, but exercise is something that does not really come naturally to me. I am not an athletic person. I grew up doing theater and dancing, which did, make me more fit, but didn't feel like doing exercise. And I just feel like exercise is not really something that is in my system. I'm not the kind of person who has been exercising their whole lives and just like always has done it. So starting my running journey a couple of months ago really was something special and out of the ordinary for me. And still, it really surprises me whenever I do a easy 5K and I come back and I'm like, I did not think I was capable of this a few months ago. And that is kind of the mindset that I'm trying to take into this race. I want to be proud of myself for the work I have put into this. I want to be proud of the fact that I thought of this goal and I have worked every single week to achieve it. And no matter what happens tomorrow, the fact is that I am more fit than I've been in my full adult life. Like, I have never regularly exercised for as long as I have now, and that ultimately is what matters. So I'm trying not to be too nervous and I'm trying not to have any expectations. Anyway, I'm gonna keep my mind off of it for now and get a good night's rest, and then tomorrow we'll see what happens. I will, of course, keep you updated. All right, let's talk about this race. I did not vlog on Sunday at all, so I wanted to give a little update. I was quite nervous in the morning when I woke up and when I was preparing, but then by the time I arrived there, I feel like my nerves kind of settled, but I did have a lot of adrenaline in like my body. I ran the 10K, I finished the race, but it was really hard. Not just physically. I feel like physically I expected it to be hard, especially the first few kilometers. I still had a lot of pain. What I did not expect is that I went way too fast in the beginning, and everyone told me like you have to start slow, but everyone also told me that this was gonna be like the fastest 10K I ever ran because I have so much adrenaline, so it's like very natural to be a lot faster. But then around kilometer 4, I noticed that I had already used so much of my energy, and that was kind of the point where my pain started to get less. So I expected to be able to run for longer. On my normal runs, I have to stop every like minute or 2 minutes for the pain the first 3 or 4 kilometers, but then afterwards I can run for like 5 minutes at a time, take a small break, and then run for another 5 minutes. But I was not able to do that because I had already used up so much of my energy at the beginning. So I had to walk a lot more than I expected. However, I did run faster than usual, so it kind of leveled out to my semi-normal pace because I was running faster, but I'm also walking more. However, mentally, this was a very tough race for me. And that was something that I did not expect or think about at all. But I just felt like an imposter the whole time. And I felt like everyone there was better than me. Everyone there was faster. I was in like the last group of my starting wave. And that's what I expected. Like, I am a pretty slow runner, and especially with the walking in between, I expected to be in the last group, but I did not expect feeling so bad about it. And I really beat myself up during the race, and I did not trust that I could finish until like kilometer 8 or something. The whole time I was just like, you're not gonna make it, which made it so much worse, because if I don't believe that I'm gonna make it, then how am I ever going to make it, And to be honest, I don't feel like that very often anymore. So this was something that I did not expect at all. And it was very hard to feel proud of myself straight afterwards. I think once I saw my friends and my family that had come to support me, I felt a lot better and I felt a lot more proud of myself. But during the race and right after the race, I just mostly felt bad about myself, which was a really strange sensation. I don't really have a message with this story. I just wanted to be honest because I feel like there's so many stories about people who thrive at these types of things and they're like, oh my god, this was so much fun. I'm so proud of myself. And that's obviously really great, but I just wanted to show you that that's not everyone's experience. However, that does not mean that I'm never gonna do this again. I don't know if I will, maybe I won't, but I do think that this is something that I have to work on. I would love to be able to do these things without feeling this way, and I think this is something that I can kind of improve in, and I can show myself more love in this way. I am really, really proud that I did it and that I finished, and also that, like I said before, I had this goal and I work towards it every single week. Feel like exercise and regularly exercising is one of the hardest things for me because I know that it makes me feel better and I know that it's good for me and it's a way to show myself love, but it takes so much effort out of me. And that just goes to show that self-love is not always easy. It's not just going to bed early or canceling plans or doing things by yourself. I think sometimes self-care is doing the hard things, and exercise is definitely one of those things for me. It's hard to motivate myself. It's hard to do it in a way that I don't feel bad about myself. I don't feel bad about my body. It's not to lose weight. You know, I think there's a lot of negative emotions when it comes to exercise, and choosing through all of that to still look for something that you enjoy because it is good for you is very hard, I think. So that is where I'm going to end this self-love vlog. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please let me know what type of things you did to show your self-love this week. Or maybe if there's anything in this video that you saw that inspired you, I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you again next week. Bye!